What up, Who That Nation? Thanks for checking out No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G, and breaking news, man. I'm sure everybody heard it by now. Erik McCoy, he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, man. 6 to 8 weeks. Was trying to dodge his injury bug as much as we can, but this is the NFL, man, and it's just inevitable. You know, a lot of other teams are just dealing with it too, you know. And to be honest, we're not as, bad as we usually be, when it comes to these injuries, when it's come to a key player out for several weeks. Usually, by week 4, we be having that injury bug bad, but this is going to be the first player that's going to be out for several weeks. Like, yeah, a player miss a game or, or whatever, but he'll be back. But, as far as missing multiple games, this is our first time missing multiple games. I mean, this is our only player missing multiple games. So it's only one player. So everybody, relatively healthy. Last season, I think it was multiple players started going down after like week 10. That's when Marshawn went down. That's when Michael Thomas went down. But for the most part, we was relatively healthy all the way up until week 10. The only injury I could say we had, that kind of messed us up was that week 3 Packers game with Derek Carr when he hurt his arm. But our fearless leader, Dennis Allen, continued to play him anyway while he was hurt. Even though he had a healthy Jameis Winston right there. Like, what's the point of having a backup quarterback if you're not going to use him? So he would have learned his lesson before, the season before, when he played Jameis Winston those 2 divisional games, when he could have played Andy Dalton. Ironic, Andy Dalton just won a game for the Panthers. And that was the game that he played Jameis Winston in that he had no business playing in against the Panthers and the Bucks. I'll never forget that. But that's our fearless leader. That's our head coach who we just sticking behind. But, for the most part, Saints got Grady Jarrett next. They got Chris Jones after that. They got Vita Vea after that. Like, Clint Kubiak, he gonna have to get in this bag. That's my head coach, as far as I'm concerned. He gonna have to get in this Duffy and, scheme up some things and probably make some adjustments to whatever we was running on the offense. As far as I'm concerned, I think they're going to be playing Lucas Patrick at center. They're not letting Ruiz play at center, even though Ruiz was, a center out of college. They're going to keep Ruiz at that guard spot. They're going to have Lucas Patrick play center, and I believe Nick Saldiveri might play guard. So it's going to be a little change of tune on that offensive line. I think it's going to hurt the Saints. I think it's going to be a little bit of a step back, but I think they should be able to beat the Falcons. They playing at the Falcons' house. Kirk Cousins, he's a sitting duck back there, so it ain't like they ain't got their problems of their own. I'm not sure if they're gonna have injuries along their offensive line, but I think they had sustained like 2 injuries during the Chiefs game. So we're gonna have to see what the injury report looking like. But for the most part, I think they could still pull out a win versus the Falcons. But when it comes to the offense, the whole offseason, that's the main concern I had, was the depth. Yeah, we had some good starters, but we ain't got depth. We had Chris Olave and Rashid, but after that, who was your wide receiver 3? Me personally, I wanted another wide receiver 1, so you could have Chris Olave be the 2, but that's just me. Tight end, we had tight ends by committee, but we ain't just had that dog. At running back, you felt good about Alvin, but Kendrick, can he see the field? Jamal Williams, a lot of people feel like he ain't got enough juice. Thank God we got Taysom Hill, which is a chess piece, and it's really fortunate that we got Taysom Hill because no other team in the league got a Taysom Hill. Yeah, they got Deebo Samuels. He's like a Swiss Army knife. Yeah, they got Cordell Patterson. He's like a Swiss Army knife, but nobody has a Taysom Hill because Taysom Hill can pass. Like, he's so talented. Even Dennis Allen was talking about, if we didn't get Chase Young, we probably been seeing Taysom Hill be on defense rushing a passer. You never know. That's how athletic he is. But that go to show you how much of a value and how important Taysom Hill is, but it also go to show you how much we lacking at all these other areas. Like, yeah, Taysom Hill is good, but if he got to fill all these roles with protection-wise and, filling in for certain skill positions, filling in for in the backfield, doing all these things with him, that lets you know you lacking in these other areas because you don't have dudes. If Taysom Hill played for the 49ers, if the 49ers is healthy and Taysom Hill missed time, you wouldn't really, feel that void of him being missing. We feel the void of him being missing because we's lacking in these areas. Now, that's another thing. I don't know why we ain't have a backup guard. A backup center the whole time. If you had a backup center the whole time, you could just let him come in, fill in that center, and you ain't got to move everybody around on the offensive line. Because when you do that, you're moving Lucas Patrick to center, and then you having the backup guard come in and play backup. Now you move one person right here, and then another person stepping up to play here, instead of just one person stepping up and playing center. Too many musical chairs. Too many musical chairs. So, maybe they had centers on the practice squad. Maybe they were seeing what they was doing in camp. They wasn't really liking what they were seeing, so they just, had another roster spot elsewhere for the 53. And it's like center. It's like once you lose your center, it's hard to come back from anyway. It's almost like your third string quarterback. Like, you don't really give that guy no snaps in camp and practice. Because it's almost like if you got to go to him, then it's almost like the game out of reach anyway. It's just like you hope that you can win. But for the most part, this is gonna be a tough loss on the Saints. I think they can still overcome this versus the Falcons. Like I said, the Falcons got their own problems. Like, I really feel like Kirk Cousins can't really move. Dennis Allen already said that going forward, it's going to be Carl Granderson and Chase Young on both of the edges. So at defensive end, you won't be seeing Cam Jordan as much as you used to seeing him. He's just getting old, bro. Like, Father Times, it catching up to everyone. And a lot of people feel like it's catching up to Demario Davis too. So, by Chase Young and Carl Granderson being on both ends, I feel like we could get to Kirk Cousins. They could get to Kirk Cousins. But I still feel like we can't stop that damn running back and tight end position. So a lot of people feel like Kyle Pitts is a bust. But when he play us, we're going to find out if he a bust or not, because tight end, if you got a solid tight end, you can make some noise against Dennis Allen's scheme. You already know they got Bijan and Tyler Algier. They're gonna make some noise too. And Atlanta got a good offensive line. Now, like I say, I think 2 of them went down in the Kansas City Chiefs game, but I don't know if they'll be back for the Saints game or not. But we're gonna have to just find out on the injury report. But I kept telling everybody, I was like, man, it's week 2, man, it's week 2. Because injuries gonna come. It's inevitable. Because even if we didn't miss, we lost McCoy, and we didn't have Taysom going into the game. I feel like with this offense, the lack of depth, it could have been any 2 key players, and we probably would have been the same outcome. Like, let's just say if it wasn't Taysom and McCoy, but it was Fuaga and Rashid. Or let's just say it wasn't Fuaga and Rashid, it was Olave and AK. It would probably been the same outcome, because we don't have enough depth to, withstand an injury. Yeah, you could miss an injury on the defensive side of the ball because you have so much depth, especially like at DB. Like when Sean went down, I wasn't really tripping on Sean going down versus the Cowboys, because for one, the Cowboys don't really have a lot of good depth at wide receiver. So it's the matchups that you're looking for. It ain't about who you play sometimes. It's the matchups about who you play and when and where you play them. And by us not catching Ferg, I feel like we could afford to have a Sean missing. Because they don't really have a good passing attack. So, you can afford to have a Sean missing on the defensive side of the ball, because you so deep at cornerback. We said it all offseason. We got the deepest cornerback or DB room in the league, secondary in the league. We said it all offseason. But I said, okay, at the meat and potato positions, like offensive line, skill positions on the offense, if one of these guys go down, or maybe even 2, it's going to look rough for us. And that's exactly what happened. looked rough for us. You know. But and everybody keep talking about the national media and all people about to switch up on us and all this and all that. Like, when it comes to the national media, y'all can't, you know, feel disrespected when they have us low. And then when they start ranking us high, they be like, oh man, don't switch up now. Keep us at low, keep us at low. You can't have it both ways. They either gonna, you know, have us low and you gotta prove them wrong. And when they prove wrong, of course, human nature, they gonna say, okay, well, we're gonna have to start giving this team respect. But when they start giving us respect, don't be like, oh man, they jinxing us, or oh, I don't want respect because we're gonna start taking the cheese and eating the cheese and all that. Like, you can't have it both ways. Embrace them having you higher on a power rankings. Embrace them picking you to win these games, because that's what good teams have to deal with. That's what come with being a good team. It come with the territory. You think Kansas City fans are saying, man, they keep on picking us to win, man, I don't want them to do that, that's gonna jinx us. No, it come with the territory. Just like when we had Sean and Drew, they was, you know, picking us to win these games when we was showing them we was busting teams' ass. You know, that would come with the territory when you a good team, bro. So stop with all these superstitions. Stop with worry about what all these analysts and national media say. It ain't got nothing new when them teams line up on that field. A podcaster opinion on a team is not tethered to what a player do on the field. These players know they got to go out there and go handle business, but not every game gonna be your game. Not every day gonna be your day. You know, and we can't just say we lost because of McCoy. Like, yeah, McCoy played a big deal, but they lost 2 of their offensive linemen. They didn't start the game. They didn't have the game with A.J. Brown the whole game. They had an injury with Devontae Smith with like 14 or 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He didn't even come back, I don't believe. And then they had Slade. He got injured when Terrell Penny tossed his ass out of bounds, I believe. And the backup cornerback came in and Derek Carr attacked him, as he should. You got to take advantage when the guy goes down from injury. That's what teams do. You know? But nobody says anything when it happens to another team. We only bring it up when it happens to us. And those plays wasn't fluke. If Saquon Barkley ran, if Alvin Kamara ran that touchdown like Saquon Barkley did, that long play, when nobody says fluke. You know? And when you do a rub route, that's the whole purpose of doing a rub route, is having the defender get held up. You want confusion. You want that to happen. Like, that's the best thing that could have happened. You know, it doesn't usually happen like that. You know, especially at a clutch time like that. You know, but that's exactly what they would have wanted. But I just hope that week 3 game, people don't just dwell on it like how they dwelled on the Green Bay game. Like, people just dwelled on that Green Bay game last year. Mind you, we was 2-0. Lost to Green Bay, 2-1, and people keep going back to that same Green Bay game and say that's the reason we lost the playoffs, as if we didn't have plenty of other opportunities after that. It's a 17-week season. Y'all was in week 3. Like, imagine talking to a Titans fan or something, and that Titan fan tell you, well, yeah, we only missed the playoffs because we was 2-0, you know, going into week 3, and then week 3 we had lost a game that we should have won. And that's the reason why we ain't go to the playoffs, man. We lost in week 3. Man, it's a 17-week season. You got, excuse my math, but you got 14 other games left. You got 14 other games left. You got all these other opportunities. The very next game you played against the Bucs, you had a chance to beat the Bucs. Could have played Jameis Winston. They healthy Jameis Winston. We'd have beat the Bucs. We'd have been in the playoffs. So I hope this Eagles game don't be a replay of last year with the Packers, and everybody just keep on harping on this Eagles game in week 3. Week 3. Because right now, yeah, McCoy is out, but we still kind of relatively healthy. We still got a lot of other players that's not, you know, having a significant injury where they're gonna be out for weeks. Now Nick Underhill say he don't know if Ruiz is gonna play, but I know for sure that McCoy is not playing. So we're gonna have to see what the injury report looking like for Ruiz. I think Taysom should be back, you know, and we just gonna have to go out there and not make no excuses, man. Just go out there and win. Speaking of that Green Bay game, they had multiple players out that game, and we just thought we was gonna win because they had multiple players out, and we still lost. The same with the Vikings. They had multiple players out, still lost. So we can't be making no excuses. If Dennis Allen and Derek Carr need everything lined up perfect for them to win, then they don't need to be the head coach in the quarterback, because you're gonna face adversity at some point during the season. Every team does. You can't just have no cakewalk season. At some point in time, adversity going to come, and you can't make excuses. So they can't get that benefit of they can't keep getting held to this standard. But that's all I gotta say, man. I'll be going live soon. Probably I'll go live tonight or tomorrow, and we're gonna get into this a deeper dive into the Saints matchup with the Falcons, and we're gonna preview this game. Should have a special guest for y'all soon, so y'all be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, man, who that, and y'all be safe out there, man.